Hey everybody, just wanting to pass on some tips if you happen to be planning a trip to Paris, especially during Christmas time. So, just to start off with some super basic stuff, you're gonna need a passport and make sure that the expiration date on that passport is more than 6 months beyond your return date to the United States. And if you're a US citizen, you do not need a visa to visit France. With regard to credit cards, call your card company and notify them of your travel dates so they don't suspect a fraudulent charge while you're trying to buy some macaroons in Paris. Also, ask your credit card company if they're going to charge you any international transaction fees. My final note about credit cards is that during our stay, I asked 3 separate taxi drivers if they accepted credit cards, and each one said no. If you're bringing anything that runs on electricity, you've got to bring an AC plug adapter for France because their outlets are shaped differently than in the US. We actually forgot to bring one, but our hotel had a drawer full of them. And they charged us a $10 deposit. If you need cash, there are plenty of ATMs around. Just make sure that you know your PIN number, whether it's a debit card or a credit card. We did not buy an international plan for our cell phones. We actually turned data off to each of our cell phones during the duration of the trip. We got by with connecting to Wi-Fi wherever it was available. We also relied on the WeChat app for communicating with family and friends back home. WeChat allows for texting, voice, and video calls, but you do need a Wi-Fi connection. No matter what country you're visiting, I believe that you should know these 3 words in the local language. Hello, which is bonjour, please, which is s'il vous plaît, and thank you, which is merci. Now, of course, the more words you learn, the more fun you'll have. We visited Paris during a strike. Now, we didn't actually see anybody striking, but the metro system was down, and because of that, the only advice that I can give you about the metro system is that we were told that if you want to buy a bus ticket, you must buy it at the metro station because a credit card and cash is not accepted on the bus itself. Once we got our bags and processed through French customs, it was super easy to get Wi-Fi connection at the Charles de Gaulle airport. The Uber app works in the English language in Paris. All we did was type in our hotel address and the number of people, and we paid with a credit card that was already synced up with the Uber app. We stayed at the Turissime Avenue Hotel, which was about 55 minutes from the airport, and Uber cost 56 euros in total. Now, in comparison, if we had taken a bus, we were told that it would have been 17 euros each, which would have totaled 68 euros. It would have taken an hour and a half to get there, and the bus would have dropped us off a 10-minute walk from the hotel. We settled into the hotel around 4 p.m., and we were pretty exhausted from the flight. We actually took a nap before venturing out that night, so you may also want to plan a little bit of downtime upon arrival. Our first touristy stop was the Eiffel Tower, it being a 10-minute walk from our room. No lines for the tickets, but could not get to the top because it was too windy that day. We ended up going to the second stop. That was plenty high enough for us to get some great views and photos. The Eiffel Tower is equally impressive during the night. Now, it's about a 5-minute walk from the Eiffel Tower down to the River Seine. Now, there's a number of river cruises. We happened to find one that was serving lunch. It was a 2.5-hour cruise, 59 euros each, and it included a 3-course meal, wine, and here's a sample of the entertainment on board. We did visit the Louvre. Now, we arrived at about 11:15, and there were already long lines everywhere. Now, in order for you to find the correct line to buy tickets for entrance into the museum, all you have to do is look for the very longest line near the glass pyramid. The Mona Lisa is obviously the big draw at the museum. Inside the room where that painting is on display, there is a long, slow-moving queue for people that want to get a straight-on, unobstructed view of the portrait. Here are perhaps a few of the lesser-known displays at the Louvre. For your planning purposes, the Louvre is closed every Tuesday, Christmas Day, and New Year's Day. I believe that everyone has their own priorities as to what to see and what to do in Paris. Here's a collage of some of the places we went. The type of family that prefers to do things as we encounter them, rather than to be too structured with lots of pre-purchased tickets and reservations. You know, that doesn't always work out in our favor, but c'est la vie. When it came time to go to the airport for our flight home, the Uber driver asked which terminal are we supposed to be dropped off at. I said Terminal A. He responded by saying A. I in turn responded by saying A. Well, he took us to Terminal E. Apparently, the French pronounce the letter E the way that Americans pronounce the letter A. I should have simply allowed him to read the information instead of me trying to pronounce something in a language that I don't speak. So, lesson learned. As a cautionary note, especially around the Eiffel Tower, you will encounter a number of people wanting you to sign a petition. Now, we were told that sometimes they work in teams, so as you're signing this petition, someone else is trying to pull something out of your backpack or out of your purse. The same is true if you involve yourself in one of those shell games that they play on the streets. All in all, you're gonna have a great time. And if you're polite and friendly, you'll find that the French people will reciprocate. Now, as far as restaurant waiters, you may find that they aren't attentive if they don't bring you that check at the end of the meal, but apparently it's their custom for you to ask for that check. We intentionally try to do as much walking as possible. Now, admittedly, the weather was favorable for that. I understand, though, that during the summer months, the heat can be physically draining. So that's all. We wish you safe travels, and thank you for watching.